Every question you have about the Vertex stand answered. Starting with the obvious, what is the purpose of the Vertex stand? This product is made by Winmau, and they have solved 3 different problems. Number 1, when you don't want to permanently mount a dartboard. Number 2, when you can't drill into your walls. And number 3, when you want to travel with a dartboard. Let's elaborate a little on those 3 solutions. The first one, not everyone wants a dartboard permanently mounted into a wall, either due to limited space like me, I have a super awkward floor plan in my home, or maybe the honey doesn't want a dartboard on display like my partner. And finally, perhaps you just want to bust out the dartboard occasionally to entertain friends or family. The Vertex stand is perfect because you don't drill into the wall, you simply lean it against a flat surface. The second thing, not everyone is able to drill into their walls. Perhaps you live in an apartment, or you rent a home, or you're like me and you have the great displeasure of having cement block walls in your house, so we literally can't even. The Vertex stand is the perfect solution for us. The third thing, travel. This is easily the most convenient product I've ever seen that you can set up or tear down super fast for portability. In minutes, you can have everything packed and ready to go with you for your next darts tournament or a friend's house or even camping. You can lean this bad boy up against a tree. I probably wouldn't take my precious Blade 6 triple core camping, but I'd happily take something more inexpensive like my Colonial V2 dartboard. Is it going to wobble? No, Weeble's wobble, not the Vertex stand. This thing isn't budging as long as you lean it against a flat wall. Unless the wall itself wobbles, the dartboard and stand won't shift out of place, especially if you take advantage of the Rotolock system on the Winmau Blade 6 range like I have, or simply use foam wedges on any dartboard so it's super secure. Will it move when I retrieve my darts from the board? I was actually quite surprised that this thing stood its ground when I went to retrieve my darts after a throw. It's pretty rock solid, even after test throwing as hard as I possibly could, then aggressively pulling them out as fast as I could. The stand barely budges. Will it work on my floor? Yes, the rubber feet work on all surfaces. It doesn't matter if you have laminate floors like I do, or carpet like we have in the shop. The feet that come with super handy non-slip mats work on vinyl, tile, cement, wood, heck, even dirt if you want to throw it on a slightly uneven surface while you're camping because of the hex nut provided to adjust height on each side. Can I rotate my board? Of course you can, silly. You should never buy a setup where you cannot rotate your board. The Vertex stand is no exception, connects to your steel tip board just like any other standard bracket that you drill into the wall. Therefore, you can just simply remove your number ring, rotate your board, and reapply your number ring in a flash. Will it work on any steel tip dartboard? Yes, the Vertex stand is compatible with all regulation steel tip boards. It does not matter the brand, as long as you have the necessary screw in the very center of the back of the board. You're ready to rock and roll. Does it work with a soft tip dartboard? Nope, only steel tip boards because soft tip dartboards are larger in size. The diameter is too large and they will not fit between the 2 leg poles. Will I trip over the poles? I highly doubt it. I personally find it very comfortable where the feet naturally sit, which for me is 25 inches from the wall, and the feet themselves are about 42 inches apart, so that's a little more than 3 feet wide. I think they're super out of the way. My spouse and I have played dozens of legs already, and we both find it very easy to retrieve our darts and exit to the right. As you should always practice in case you land on a USA Darts live stream, or even better, you might be on the telly someday in a PDC Darts event. Is it noisy? It's fairly quiet for leaning directly up against the wall. You're not going to hear much vibration, really. It's a lot more dependent on the dartboard that you have rather than the stand that's making noise. So have a listen at the Blade 6 triple core. You good with that, or do you want to keep trying?
No, we're done.
Will my darts pierce through the provided surround? Yes, they will in fact pierce through. This is a pretty thin fabric designed for more branding purposes than anything. It sits flush with the backing. Personally, I like the way that it looks. It gives everything a little more official, sporty kind of feel rather than the poles just hanging out by their lonesome. I think ultimately it just gives it a finished look. Can you use a traditional surround with it? Technically, yes, you could either purchase a 4-piece jigsaw puzzle surround that you modify to fit over the 2 leg poles, which is the more economical choice, or a 1-piece traditional foam surround that, again, you will have to modify to fit around the legs. However, keep in mind that the 1-piece surround will not be able to break down to fit into your portable bag. So I definitely recommend the jigsaw version that is cheaper, you can travel with it, and it will protect your walls just as well as a 1-piece can. Can you fit a dartboard into the travel bag that comes with the stand? You so can. It's designed with an extra pouch to include your dartboard along with the plate and leg poles. Bonus, it comes with a shoulder strap to make the entire thing easier to walk around with. As someone who's a petite woman, I'm definitely not the strongest, so this feature is really awesome for someone like me. How much does it weigh? The Vertex stand kit weighs 13.2 pounds without a dartboard. The Blade 6, for example, weighs 10.6 pounds, and the Colonial V2 only weighs 9.65 pounds. So the Vertex kit plus a standard board is going to be roughly 23 to 25 pounds in total. So reminder, if you're going to check your bag at the airport, make sure the entire bag doesn't exceed 50 pounds. How do I measure the height and throwing distance? Very simple, just grab a tape measure. The height of the center of the Red Bull segment should be exactly 5 foot 8 inches from the floor. Then for the throwing distance, measure exactly how far the front of the dartboard is from your wall. Mine is nearly 2 inches, so I simply need to add that distance to the regulation 7 feet 9 1/4 inch throwing distance. That's a grand total of 7 feet 11 1/4 inch from my toe line. What accessories work with it? It can certainly handle the weight of a lighting system. You could stick with Winmau and go with their Polaris light, or the Target Corona, or the 180 light, for example. Another great option is to roll out a mat underneath with built-in toe line because there's plenty of clearance between the feet of the pole, roughly 3 feet 5 inches of clearance. And finally, you can jimmy rig a phone holder attachment that could clamp onto the legs and use your favorite dart scoring application for enhanced play. How can I use it in a hotel room? I recommend you lean the stand towards the hotel room door. Hopefully that gives you enough clearance for your toe line, because that's going to be the least disturbing for your hotel neighbors, where you really don't want a noise complaint throwing against your common wall that you share. Are the poles distracting? I mean, no, they're so minimalistic. I would argue that traditional stanchions are more distracting than those. I mean, a chalker that's fidgeting is far more distracting than that. But the leg poles are not even remotely on my mind when I'm throwing. Is this a high quality product? Look, these poles are deceptively stable. The Vertex stand is priced where it's at because of how robust the feet and poles are. They need to be high quality for this concept to even work. You simply cannot cheap out on something like this and guarantee that the dartboard will stay at regulation height for legitimate practice or play. So it's sturdy, hands down. In conclusion, I feel like this product was specifically designed for me as I fit into every single solution category. For years, my fixer-upper starter home has been under construction. It's a super weird layout. My spouse and I couldn't agree where to permanently mount a dartboard, and we're limited with our cement block walls, making it quite difficult to drill anything into them. On top of all of that, I love the idea of being able to easily travel with a dartboard to a friend's house. I could set up a demo at a club or school for teaching, because you know traditional leg stands are very cumbersome and they are not easy to travel with. I could go camping with it. I could practice in a hotel room at a tournament just to stay fresh. This thing is awesome. I was given it just to review, but believe me when I say it is not going back to A to Z Darts. They can try to pry it out of my hands. See you next time.